It is bright and sunny out, but we are going back to the back pasture because our first farm project, sorry, hopefully it's not bouncy, like we are walking through like really tall grass because this has not been maintained all year. Our first project on the farm is to get an area ready for the bees because we're gonna go fly back out and drive the bees out, and we'll come at night and unload them. And like I said, this has not been maintained, so we need to kind of get an area ready. So that's what our project is today. This area where we're going to be putting the bees is actually in the hay field right here at the end of the lane. We're bringing in a weed whacker and we're just mowing down the weeds, trying to get this area down a little bit so we can go ahead and set up our hive stands. We got some cinder blocks to go ahead and put the hives on, and we went to Lowe's and bought them. They were about $4 each. Then after we got to the property, we realized there was a whole stack of them that we could have just reused. But I plan on adding more hives in the future, so we'll just save those for another project and more hives down the road. We have to make sure that the ground is really level. That way the hives will be level. So it took quite a while of kind of digging in the dirt, using levels, scraping it, kind of filling it in. It would have been easier if we had some sand, because this dirt, it was a little hard to work with, and sand is a little bit finer and easier if you want to get things level. But we finally got it done, and we are ready for both of our hives coming here in a few days. Our next project here on the farm was to get all of the weeds from the garden cleared out. They were so tall, taller than me. They were starting to go to seed, and this garden was just going crazy. There was volunteer potatoes, tomatoes, tons of gourds in here. So we're gonna just clear all these weeds out and make a burn pile, because we don't want all of these weeds going to seed and reseeding in the garden and popping up next year. Plus, ashes are kind of good for the garden, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. There were so many of these black little fuzzy caterpillar things, and they do turn into moths. So look at the size of this gourd we found here. This is huge. There's so many decorative gourds in there. They're all very beautiful and different. Some of them kind of look a little bit more pumpkin-like. Last of the tomatoes. And then look at these potatoes. Look at this ginormous potato. These look like Yukon Gold. And this one here, I dug it up because I was trying to dig out a weed, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's a patch of potatoes. So I'm gonna dig through and see, but look how gorgeous this soil is. It is so gorgeous. We need to till this all in because there's soil sprinkled throughout that is just gorgeous like this. So we have our ginormous weed burn pile. We're gonna let this dry out a few days, and then we're gonna light it on fire. And then the rest of it, so this is like all squash. There's so many squash bugs, and it is covered with powdery mildew. There's also weeds sprinkled throughout, so we're just gonna torch this. And then also these are just some flowers, which we'll just have to get rid of. It's looking beautiful. I mean, it may not look like beautiful, but the thought of starting from scratch from a garden after spending years of building good soil was overwhelming. But this here, like, he had the same principles of gardening as I did, and the soil is just beautiful. Yeah, it's weedy and full of grasses, but nothing we can't fix, and this is gonna be an amazing garden for next year, and we're gonna expand it, but for now we need to get this cleaned up. This tiller was left in the barn by the previous owners, and we were thrilled to be able to have it for this huge garden. Normally, we don't like to till. We do more of a no-till approach, but this garden really needed some tilling, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over it several times. We're going to add our worm castings and all the compost that we've been collecting over the last year, but this is just the first initial tilling, and this is a Troy-built tiller. It's very good, very powerful. It took a little bit to get it started because the battery was dead, so we had to hook it up to the truck to kind of jump start it. But since then, we've replaced the battery and it has worked really good for us.